Hey everyone, this is Tappers here, and welcome back to the Mega Man playthrough. Okay, hold on a second, I was just making sure. The Mega Man 9 playthrough. So, when we last left off, we kind of bumbled around trying to understand what Mega Man Legacy Collection is doing, and they made some mistakes for sure with setting this up. Like, they did everything backwards, like not having the intro to start and instead putting it either at the end or when the game resets, which is not how you set things up, by the way. But with that said, we got through most of the dealings and we're off to the second half of the Robot Masters. Next is Tornado Man, which has a lot of people's favorite Robot Master theme, which I do kind of like, but it also has some things that people don't remember this game and Magma Man 2 very fondly, and that's none other than the battery platforms, which I'm going to find out right now. Do they work in the way? Yeah, they didn't. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. So this is how they're supposed to work. You should be able to do controlled jumps, but for some reason, also I love those balloons. They make the weirdest sounds, and I missed that jump completely. Can I use the concrete shot? Oh, wow, I almost missed that jump. This is kind of a scary part because, yeah, you have to be careful, and I completely panicked because I didn't see the battery coming forth over there, and in fact, it wasn't even there, so yeah, if your timing is wrong on the jumps, well, you're in big trouble, and also, yeah, the sound is kind of amazing. Okay, I haven't used Rush Coil at all, which it's still really good. I mean, check out the jump height on that. It's pretty great. Oh yeah, this enemy just kind of does whatever it feels like. It just circles up and down and all around. I don't know why I'm even making that reference. That was a really horrible idea. I thought that battery was going to be there, and I missed it the first time. So, yeah, horrible idea, so I might have to jump cut. That was probably not advised, because oh my god, that was scary. Okay, wait for it. Yeah, this is really desynced and not good. Yeah, I can't say I like that part. Also, I noticed that this sky is overly blue. I don't remember it being like that before, so that's kind of bizarre. Also, I never mentioned that these parachute enemies, or the balloon enemies, oh yeah, ice physics, by the way, because I'm not really sure why it's in a Tornado Man stage. It's just kind of bizarre. And we're going to just drop a bunch of concrete on them because they're kind of razzing kind of our pace and everything. Also, that was, I think, a Machine Gun Joe. I'm not really sure because we hadn't... Yeah, it's a Machine Gun Joe. I'm starting to like this concrete shot weapon a lot more because they can actually one-hit kill the frickin' what's it called? Sniper Joes, which is something you wouldn't expect. Also, the clouds are actually solid, which is kind of weird now that you think about it. But this area is very perilous because you have batteries and you also have umbrellas that can kind of get the drop on you. Okay. those platforms just make me all sorts of uncomfortable. But this is also a good stage to possibly speedrun if you can beware of the umbrellas. Fortunately, the plug ball actually seems to have a little bit more... I almost got anti-air. That was kind of not good, so I'm going to drop a plug on him. Or I'm going to unplug him. That doesn't make any sense, but it doesn't matter because we're now at Tornado Man after a relatively haphazard stage. So Tornado Man has a few different attacks at his disposal. He uses the tornado blow, which it's sort of pattern based, and it also increases the jump height and movement. You also need to be careful because it could possibly be easy to jump into the spikes if you're not careful, and he will land on your location after 1 or 2 attacks. He's not too bad fighting, it's just his stage kind of could leave a lot more to be desired. But by the end of the day, we get the Tornado Blow, which is this game's screen clearing weapon, but it also has another utility that you don't get to see offhand because Mega Man doesn't do much except press B or X depending on what kind of controller you're using. But yeah, so defeating 5 Robot Masters, we get an upgrade to Rush that will help us out, and Roll is testing it out firsthand, and she's already afraid of heights and speed. And Rush is a jerk by just dropping Roll, and that's just kind of awful. But I guess maybe he slowed down and that's why she fell off. It's kind of hard to say. Next stage, we only have 3 left. We're going to go to Magma Man stage because, well, it's about time we blaze it up. That's what we need to do. There is no Blaze Man, but there's a Magma Man, and his theme's actually kind of cool. I'm not a fan of these enemies, though, because I'm not really sure, like, how and when they actually take damage. Like, you're supposed to shoot them from behind, but at the same time, that's not how it really works. Also, these flamethrower enemies are kind of bizarre. And I really don't like that jump because it's way too far than it really ever should be. These totem poles, though, are kind of neat. I mean, they block your way and you just need to shoot them in the head because that's all you gotta do. Now, this is actually where the concrete shot really shines. Except that I didn't actually do it right. Okay, that's really strange. Oh, I know what's wrong. I'm not using the right combination. But yeah, I think those lasers are instant death. Oh, and I also realized in order to actually kill them up close, you have to be point blank and then shoot them. It's really dangerous, I know. And I wouldn't necessarily advise it if you're perfect running or whatever. But it's kind of whatever. So this is the Chain Key Dragon, which I will unfortunately not defeat because this dragon just decided he wanted to do whatever. So he's got 2 weaknesses. Apparently he wanted to dive low and prevent me from hitting him. Okay, let me see. Can I get it? Yep. So you can defeat him either by shooting a ton of concrete blocks at him, which isn't much, or you can just stone them because that's the best execution method ever. I would be showing off the new weapon we got, but there's kind of a reason I'm not doing that yet. As we watch the, yeah. Another jump I don't like, and this is also sort of a speed... Actually, no, you don't speed that one up any differently. What else is... Oh yeah, I haven't used Black Hole Bomb in a while. That doesn't do anything. Okay. I have to be really careful because I think I will die for sure. But yeah, that's kind of the end of the stage, and I didn't really need that weapon energy, but it's kind of okay. Magma Man, I'm not going to use his weakness just yet. I'm just going to do him Buster only, at least for now, because I don't want to waste the weapon energy because I don't get much. But Magma Man is very pattern-based and actually not too bad. All you have to do is be sure to react immediately. The only tough part is when he decides to only hop up one step. If he does more, then you can easily dodge him better, but otherwise it's a bit tricky. Now, with his weakness, he becomes sort of a pushover, almost, because all of his weapon energy just kind of goes bye-bye. The only problem is you don't get enough energy to actually defeat him with. And it should also be noted that when he has no power, his Magma Bazooka isn't worth a damn. But when he's at full power, then it covers a very wide area. All in all, he's very reaction and kind of RNG dependent, but it's actually still a decent fight. It's just, you just have to have really good timing when he makes those weak steps. But defeating him, we get the Magma Bazooka, which shoots kind of a tri-shot, and if we charge it up, it actually does more damage. It's a decent weapon, it's just that I don't actually use it all that much. But it is actually very helpful in a moment. I need to take another drink. Alright. So we got 2 Robot Masters left, and we're heading to Hornet Man. So, interesting note, Hornet Man was, I think, originally supposed to be a female Robot Master, and Splash Woman wasn't supposed to exist, at least to my knowledge. That's at least what I read in the wiki coming into this, but it's kind of hard to say. But Hornet Man is a lot of people's favorite Robot Master and theme, which I can actually see, because this theme is actually really well composed. And the stage is kind of unique as well. I mean, the background's really nice. The, okay, I'm going to use, Rush Jet because I don't trust using the coil on this part. But, we have scissors, which can do some kind of annoying things. If you let them connect, they will rush off the screen and then come back to you, which is kind of annoying. Also, we have kind of an interesting gimmick here with trying to progress through the stage, because you have to shoot those things, and if you do it right, you'll be able to progress with the stage. And we get to our first mini-boss, I forgot its name, but it's a very RNG-dependent clock boss. And as far as like when it decides it wants to shoot at you, I think it's all dependent on like everything that revolves around the world. It also should be noted that it won't shoot all of its petals at you, depending on like your distance or something. But after a while, you can pretty much take him out easily. It should be noted that there's, I think, there's a Nezumi Man boss in Butter Nezumi's stage, which kind of takes its kind of concept to sort of the same norm in a way. Yeah, that's me trying to take out the combined scissors, which almost killed me, by the way, fortunately for iframes. And rocks. I don't even know what those things were supposed to be, but also we got flying cactus planes. Don't ask what those are, but these are supposed to be like flower pot enemies with the name I don't remember, but I really do like the look of the stage, and any flack that I probably would give this game, well, actually, my complaints are probably minor. Actually, let's use the Magma Bazooka. It actually does a lot of hits. Okay, I've got 2 lives, and I'm not going to grab it because I don't feel like it. I mean, the stage layout's nice, the music's great. Some of the areas are pretty challenging, like that one pit with all the snail platforms you had to go across and the scissors that could potentially get you. I think it's just more of taking it a bit slower, but that's kind of besides the point. Hornet Man is kind of a tricky boss if you're not using his weakness weapon. So, he shoots these Hornet Chasers, which will kind of go after you a bit. If you take out a number of his minions, which I'm doing a very poor job at aiming, they'll only follow you up to a certain point, and the pattern just kind of repeats itself. Okay, I need to just go ahead and use his weakness, which, oh yeah, let's use the charge shot, which didn't really do anything notable. No, it missed completely. Why does it always happen at low health? It's all because I screw around, and it's like I did a horrible job of dodging and actually aiming, because my god, my aiming was horrible in this fight. Ugh. God, the positioning on that one was really horrible. Oh yeah, I forgot he jumps. I will say that even though there are things I can praise about Mega Man 9, I really couldn't care less about this boss theme. It just isn't very good, in my opinion. Fortunately, Mega Man 10, even though people aren't as big on that one, I mean, it's not even offensively bad in their opinion, it's just more the same, I think, is considered the complaint. I like the boss themes in that game a lot better, because this one just feels too generic and just kind of odd. But defeating Hornet Man, we get the Hornet Chaser, another very high-tier weapon in this game, of high-tier weapons with just a couple exceptions. This weapon will seek out enemies that are nearby that it can target, and yeah, it'll seek them down, kind of like what the Hornet Chasers were doing to me. And if there's item pickups around, the bees will go after them and then just return them to you. I will show it off, hopefully, as we face the last Robot Master, Splash Woman. Or should we call it a Robot Mistress? I don't even know. It doesn't really matter, because I don't think it does. Splash Woman, I'm not a fan of this theme as maybe some people probably would be, because it just sounds kind of meh. It's kind of mediocre, if you ask me. Okay, so I was going to show off the Hornet Chaser, but this is kind of actually the best place to use it. So, yeah, the bees will actually actively go after any pickups. Unfortunately, they can't do anything about these bomb wannabes. I don't know how that one activated, but I shouldn't even try to question it, because any sort of logic is wrong with the world. Oh yeah, I should mention that these octopus enemies will shoot gunk balls at you, and they will cause some sort of blind status ailment. And this is clearly not reenacting Wave Man. No way is it. The background, however, is kind of less interesting, if you ask me, because in Waveman stage, you would at least have some sort of dam background. Oh yeah, by the way, these spearfish will actively hunt you down if you're within a certain altitude. So you just want to kind of goat them out like that, and if you're lucky, you will get pickups that will immediately drop into their little paws. Gonna grab that bolt because I definitely want it. It almost looked like that was not a ceiling for a moment and more like something else. Oh yeah, the tornado blow. So I never actually showed this off, but if it does enough damage, it'll blow all enemies off screen. It's not necessarily the tornadoes that have to hit it, but it's just kind of a trap trying to jump on the canisters that just empty out at random intervals. Why was the checkpoint before this and not after? Like, alright, fine, game. You want to keep doing this. It should also be noted, because you're screen clearing like that, you won't get any sort of power-ups or drops or anything like that. Not that it particularly matters, especially if you get killed the way I did. Okay, yeah, we're just going to use Rush Jet and get out of this area. I don't know how I made that jump. Screw this room, though, because this is just kind of awful. Come on. Okay, actually that room's not bad. It's just I was approaching it from the wrong way. I'm pretty sure there's nothing up here, and those bombs most certainly cannot reach me, and there was nothing to this area except what looked like the beginning? I don't really understand what that was about. But yeah, I mean, of the stages here, I mean, of the Select 8 and the Revival... Oh yeah, I never mentioned, this game was created in 2008. Yeah, 2008. So this was roughly 10 years since Mega Man 8. And the quality... There was a lot of love put into this game. Also, Splash Woman, she takes 2 units of damage from a Buster shot. She's actually one of the Robot Masters you should go after first. Defeating her Buster only is relatively easy as long as you're careful when she starts to do her down stab, because yeah. She's also very allergic to bees. And she explodes big time, and we collected something that we couldn't really see because, you know, but it was some sort of blue rectangular clue is what it was. But yeah, that is all 8 Robot Masters down, and defeating Splash Woman, we get the Laser Trident, which it's not the Splash Trident or Splash Laser. It's a very high ammo count weapon that does piercing damage that travels forward. It's pretty nice, but I don't consider it quite as interesting as a lot of other weapons. So, I mean, it's still decent, but probably not a weapon I would necessarily go to unless I really need it. So what is this blue thing? It's a memory circuit board for Robot Masters. Now, I guess we can play back his memory to see why he went crazy. Yeah, so this is kind of why I went for Splash Woman last, because depending on who you take out last, you will see through the eyes of the Robot Master the conversation by Wily and the other Robot Masters. And this is actually a nice attention to detail where they have all but one of the robots actually be present. So you could have potentially everybody but Galaxy Man, everybody but Hornet, Plug, so on. And they kind of messed up by not putting the correct gender for Splash Woman, but there's questions of whether, well, Splash Woman was maybe supposed to have a male robot master, and that maybe Hornet Man was supposed to have her, but anyway, Wily is apparently trying to bargain with them that they don't need to go to the junkyard because they can just work for him. And this was kind of held under wraps because collusion and stuff. I'm going to stop right there. No longer need to be destroyed. And yeah, there's some conflict going on. Reach some arbitrary expiration date doesn't mean you should be scrapped, which, you know, I can definitely understand where Wily's probably coming from. I mean, it really sucks to be scrapped, and I mean, there's definitely uses for robots, but unfortunately, Wily decided that he would brainwash them to do his bidding. And yeah, it was Wily all along, and well, as we kind of figured. But, oh no, Wily just appears inside our home with that giant saucer and just steals the evidence. And that's the end of that. It's like, okay, it's like, whatever you say, Wily. But, anyway, so we got all that we need as far as, like, bolts or whatever. Well, actually, we could be getting more bolts, but I'm going to grab a couple of E-tanks because I could really use them instead of having to worry about them later. Actually, I'm going to grab 2. No. I'm going to grab the energy balancer because this is probably the last thing I can really afford, and I don't feel like buying anything else. I could be showing off the other things, but it's kind of not worth it at this point, sort of. So, all 8 Robot Masters are down, and next time we will take on Wily and his dangerous fort of, we'll just say questionableness, and then just leave it at that. So, this has been Tappers, and I'll see you in a bit.